baseline, and then some really key exceptional things somebody could look for when they're looking and doing their own due diligence. So in addition, so that research library, I think we have 8 reports now on different social issues, and that's on our website and it's publicly available. So in addition to that, this is the research we've recently started doing is based on what we used to do, which was organization reports. Now we're doing program analysis reports, and I'll speak to those in a minute because they really fall on the nonprofit side. So the other thing we do for donors is customized research. So we're a bit of a consulting shop also. And the difference for us is we're not doing business planning or that type of consulting. What we're doing is doing research consulting. So for example, United Way just hired us to write a research report about high-risk youth. So it takes our model of identifying what are the best practices and the best approach in our report sections, but it's customized specifically for their specific needs in the moment. So we do a bunch of different projects like that, all for donors and funders. And on the nonprofit side now, we're actually just pilot testing this program analysis report. And we just wrote our first 7. So the idea here is now when we write that social issue report and figure out what the best practices are in the fields, we develop a rating scale, a 1 to 5 scale, which then we can look and collect data from the organization and really determine how well are they actually implementing those best practices. How true to the best practice model is this program? So based on that, so we gather information from the nonprofits through surveys and interviews, and we'll start doing site visits fairly soon, which is pretty exciting for us. So based on that, we are now developing sort of deep reports for nonprofits where they can look at themselves within a particular geographic area, see some benchmarking about how on our 1 to 5 scale they came out compared to other nonprofits, and also then specifically at the detail level. So staff turnover, for example. Maybe your nonprofit, loses staff every 2 years, but the average in the field, and you feel like that's really bad, but then you learn the average in your field is actually, 1 year turnover. So suddenly it doesn't seem so bad, right? But that kind of information where because we're going deep at the social issue level in specific geographic areas, we are able now to start to put this work sort of
and fun to talk to. So I'm going to take you through who Catch a Fire is. And I made the decision last minute that I'm going to take you through it from the business perspective, which I very seldom do. That your students and your learning, and I think this will be hopefully interesting to you. So just as a background, I spent a lot of time before starting up this organization thinking about how to structure this organization. And at the core of who we are social mission. And despite the fact that we've chosen the for-profit model, which in some cases can be very confusing to people, this was a choice that I believe furthers our social mission. And that's a very important part of who we are and what we believe, and that we also want to be very successful so that we prove that the for-profit social mission business model is one that truly is transformational and can change the world. So let me just take you through some of these slides. So what is the problem that we're solving? Well, 95% of nonprofits need and want access to pro bono services, but they don't know where to go to get them. That's a problem. That's a lot of nonprofits. This is 2011, and 95% of nonprofits say that they need and want access to pro bono. On the other side of the equation, you have millions of professionals who want to volunteer their on-the-job skills for good, but can't find a way to do so. So this was my story. I graduated from Columbia, and then I went into investment banking. I tried to volunteer my financial skills, and I couldn't find any way to do so. That's a pretty depressing but also crazy situation, right? Where somebody has very valuable skills to give, but they don't know where to go to give them. So that's a supply and demand issue. And this is true even though great volunteer service providers exist, like idealist.org, Volunteer Match, All for Good, and Taproot. Very, great organizations that are truly making an impact, but are not solving this problem that 95% of nonprofits need and want access to pro bono, and that millions of professionals want to give their skills. Why is this? Well, nonprofits have a hard time breaking down their skills-based needs into manageable volunteer projects. What does this mean? It means that busy people who want to give their skills away can't find an easy way to do so. So what's the solution? Catch a Fire. So Catch a Fire is an online platform that connects social good organizations to professionals who want to give their time and their skills pro bono. It's designed for the talented and busy professional who wants to find a meaningful experience. How do we do this? Well, we have a unique model that pre-scopes projects. So projects are pre-scoped short-term, meaning that they're on average 30 to 50 hours of a professional's time over 2 to 3 months, and they're flexible. So they're designed for the busy professional who will often do this after hours or on the weekend, or if their company gives them time to give, they'll do it during that time. But it's designed for that busy professional. Another key piece of our model is that we tailor matches to one's skills and cause interests. So our technology platform works like an eHarmony or a Match.com, meaning that we know who you are when you register on our site. We take your resume information, so we use the LinkedIn API, we grab your resume data, you tell us what causes you're interested in, even what nonprofits you're interested in, and then we'll deliver to you. We'll actually push projects that are tailored to your skill set and cause interest. So you're only looking at opportunities that you care about. So we're cutting out the noise. And we're then matching you with organizations that are invested and trained in pro bono management. So what does it mean that organizations are invested in this? Well, organizations pay us a membership fee to access our talent, and this makes sure that they have skin in the game. This is a piece of the model that allows us to be for-profit. We have a strong earned income stream, which is from this membership fee, where the philosophy behind this fee is that we're trying to make it so that nonprofits are committed and have skin in the game before they ask for your talent. So what do the organizations get in return? They get access to talent that they could otherwise never afford. So some of these talented individuals include marketing experts, social media experts, graphic designers, web designers, Salesforce database engineers, Google AdWords people, SEO experts, all of these great things. The other thing that organizations get in return is an outsourced human resources department, which means that we recruit, vet, and match organizations to the perfect professional for the job. Okay, do you get it? All right, so on the business side, how big can this really get? Well, we're from New York. In New York City alone, we've registered nearly 1,800 organizations and nearly 10,000 professionals. And this is just the beginning. Each organization pays an average of $5,000 for annual membership. This is actually lower now, but previously the average was $5,000, and this is on a sliding scale, so smaller organizations pay less and larger organizations pay more, because we're not trying to be prohibitive, but again, tailored to the organization. There are about 2 million social good organizations in the US, so we're serving nonprofits as well as social enterprises. So the target addressable market, which I'm sure you've all learned that terminology, is $10 billion annually, not too small. So another way to look at this, there are 2 million organizations, and each on average do 4 projects a year, where each project is on average valued at $7,500. So what does this mean? It means that we're on